Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Janet Wallace, Moderator of the Town of Kingston, and this is our Kingston Special Town Meeting preview. Kingston Special Town Meeting will be held on Tuesday, November 14th, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. at the Kingston Intermediate School. If we do not complete all of our articles on the 14th, the meeting will go for a second night on November 15th, 2017, 6:30, Kingston Intermediate School. So that would be Tuesday and Wednesday nights, but let's hope we can get it all done in one night. We have 14 articles in this special town meeting. I also want to let everybody know that CPC is accepting applications for the CPA funding through November 30th, 2017, and those are for open space, recreation, historic preservation, and community housing projects. And then those are the ones, once you submit it, it's vetted by the CPC, and then those will be voted in the springtime on the next annual town meeting. So moving on, we have Article 1. Article 1 is our Kingston Intermediate School Energy Management Upgrades. The Kingston Intermediate School current heating system, its HVAC system, it was the current system that was installed at the time of the original construction of the Kingston Intermediate School. And there are different zones throughout the school, and they're just not working. I've been hearing that one of the zones stays on 24/7, and the heat is constantly pumping. It's been determined by our facilities manager that the system itself has passed its life expectancy, and so we need to do some upgrades to it. And the cost to the town will be $528,383. That's $528,383. There's a green energy community, as a green energy community, we have available to us a $250,000 green energy grant. So that would reduce the price of our project to the town to $278,383. So again, we'll be voting on Tuesday night, $278,383 with the matching grant of $250,000, and that will come from free cash. And just as a little FYI for everybody to understand, our free cash is basically the additional income that the town received that wasn't allocated or anticipated. Every budget season, we anticipate how much revenues the town will receive in all of its revenue functions, and then this free cash ends up being those monies that are paid that weren't anticipated. The Board of Selectmen has favorable vote on this, and the Finance Committee has a favorable vote on this Article 1. Article 2 is the construction of our new public library. There's been many open forums that they've had informational meetings throughout the town and throughout the last couple of months. In a nutshell, the total cost is $15,860,000. There's a grant from the library commissioners, and that grant is $6,893,430. There's also a green energy incentive for bringing the building into green energy compliance. That's $241,270. There's different levels of those incentives, and this, I believe, was the silver level, if I remember from my attending the meetings. So the cost to the town will be approximately $8,725,300 will be the cost to the citizens. That total cost covers the library relocating out of its current building, the demolition of that current building, and the full construction of the new building. So and the library will be there being able to answer all of its questions. I think that, as I said, they have multiple open forums in which they've explained the needs, and they'll cover in their presentation the needs of why they feel that they need a new building. The debt, now I need to remind everybody that this is a debt exclusion, and that means that we cannot pay it from our regular tax rate. So as a result, it requires 2 votes. So the first vote will be on Tuesday, November 14th, as I go back to my own time, November 14th. And that first vote will be at town meeting to authorize that use or the expenditure of those funds. The second one, if it passes at town meeting, then the second will be a vote throughout the town on a special election that will be held, and it would have to pass that secondary vote. So it is a 2-vote requirement under any debt exclusion item. So that's what will be happening. At this point, the Board of Selectmen has a favorable vote, and the Finance Committee has an unfavorable vote. Article 3 is our Grays Beach Park Restoration, Retreat, and Improvement Project. The intent is to improve our coastal resilience. The improvement from the storm damage that, as you all know, there was damage down at Grays Beach, but also to put into place a new plan to address the erosion in maintaining natural habitats, the removal of invasive species, and the installation of a salt marsh, which will be for part of the habitat issues. And they'll be putting in compatible sand, and also, as Maureen Thomas will give us, our conservation agent will give us an explanation, it's more important in regard to addressing the flooding, address the flood capacity and stormwater management down there as well. So that is the program that they are proposing and going forward with. This is an $820,000 project from free cash. There are 2 grants that will be coming forward and will reimburse the town. The first grant will reimburse the town, or the 2 together actually will reimburse the town $797,725. So the cost to the town is $22,275. So this is a 95% funding by grant. However, what has to happen is that we have to allocate the monies to be paid and used and be done by June 30th, and then that grant money will be paid back. And so it's just us fronting the money, and then the money will come right back into free cash. There's been a lot of discussion in regard to this. Again, there's been a few meetings in regard to this. There was some discussion that it would be anywhere from $300,000 to $350,000 to repair the wall, and there'd be no grant or matching money associated with that expenditure. So go with the grant, it costs the town $22,275. Go without the grant, the wall has to be replaced, and it would cost the town $300,000 to $350,000. The Board of Selectmen has voted favorable action. The Finance Committee has also voted favorable action. And as I indicated, there'll be a presentation on this article. And I should say, this article, as well as the library article, the plans are available at the town hall for any citizen or resident to review. In regard to Article 4, we have the amendment to the zoning bylaws, and it's to create a mixed commerce district. I need to explain to everybody, there were actually 5 articles in this town meeting that are being re-voted. They were initially voted just at our past annual town meeting. Unfortunately, there was an error with the notice to abutting towns. There had been, so as a result of that error in the notice to abutting towns, the AG rejected the votes. It is under appeal, but we'll see how that develops. The town is obligated to give formal notice to its abutting towns. However, informal notice was given, and most of the towns responded, so they're aware that the town received notice. However, there is the requirement of the formal notice, and so the sufficiency under the pre-requirements before the vote was not there. So that's going to be Articles 4, Article 5, Article 11, Article 12, and Article 13. Those are the 5 articles that we're re-voting that we already voted and debated at the prior town meeting. This particular article is to create a new mixed commercial district to encourage commercial and industrial development in town. It's been the Board of Selectmen's goal to increase revenues for the town, and that is through the commercial industrial revenue sources. This has Board of Selectmen favorable action. Moving on to Article 5, again, a re-voting article. This one was to establish a temporary moratorium on the recreational marijuana establishments, and this was we voted this at the recommendation of town council to the town, give the town time to put together bylaws into place so that we could have the matter more properly addressed and regulated by the town of Kingston. This has favorable Board of Selectmen action. Article 6 is the establishment of the Special Education Reserve Fund. The Special Education Reserve Fund is to cover the Kingston schools only. This does not cover Silver Lake. It is to create a fund. It is not funding the fund, so to speak. It is creating the fund. The state allows reserve funds for schools, and they're allowed to put up to 5% of the budget, which in this case would be around $300,000. The fund would work this way. It would require a town meeting vote to go into the fund, and it will require a town meeting vote to come out of the fund. So town meeting will control the savings that go into it, and as well as the expenditures that come out of it. The reason that the school committee is seeking this is that it's their intent to try to create a savings account, so to speak, or reserve fund, for special education purposes only. And this is to address, and hopefully to address the years that we have these spikes in special ed. If everybody will remember at our last annual town meeting, we had this exact same circumstance where the special education spiked and we had to address it, and it became a budgetary issue. What they're trying to do is to address this by putting money into a reserve fund in regard to doing this. The Board of Selectmen has favorable action on this matter. The Finance Committee has not voted favorable, unfavorable, but has voted to ask that the article not go forward. The wastewater budget discrepancy, this is the one, Article 7, that we initially thought would have to be revoted. However, new review of the actual vote taken at annual town meeting, it was voted appropriately, the numbers were correct, and thereby this article does not need to be moved in any way. So Article 7 will not be moved. Article 8 is the replenishment of the Waterways Improvement Fund. This is seeking to have the Waterways Improvement Fund replenished by $40,000. $40,000 was withdrawn from this fund at the last annual town meeting for the operating budget. The funds in this Waterway Improvement Fund are from the moorings and the income that's derived from our waterfront, and it goes into this and has been traditionally used to finance capital projects down there. Equipment purchases, docks, trucks, that type of an item, capital items. Historically, it has not been used for operating budget situations, except in extremely financially tight situations, and then the town has used it. There'll be debate on this because it has to do with the use of the income. In other words, what the waterways, this Waterways Improvement Fund has income going into it, and other departments deal with their income going into the operating fund. So there'll be some debate on this. Board of Selectmen has favorable action, and the Finance Committee has unfavorable action on that vote. The Article 9 is the engine for inflatable boat and channel markers. This is coming from the Waterways Improvement Fund. Again, this is the issue of funding capital projects. The Waterways Improvement Fund used the funds to finance a new engine for the inflatable boat and channel markers for the Rocky Nook Channel. And the total cost on this one is $13,800. The boat, the inflatable boat, the prior engine has died. They sent it out to see if they could have it repaired. It's not repairable, so they need to replace it, and they're filing and doing this on the special town meeting floor because they want to have it up and operating by April, and if it's not voted until the annual town meeting, then it wouldn't be operating at the beginning of their season, and that's why they're seeking that. This has favorable action from the Board of Selectmen as well as the Finance Committee. Again, that's $13,800. Article 10 is the collective bargaining agreement. This is the collective bargaining agreement with the KTEU, and that's the clerical union of the town of Kingston, and they're asking for that union contract that the town administrator just completed negotiating to be accepted. The Board of Selectmen has voted favorable action, and the Finance Committee is pending review of the contract in their vote. Article 11 is the amendment to the zoning bylaw, inclusionary zoning. This again is a revote of the article that was voted in annual town meeting just this past spring, and it clarifies the inclusionary housing zoning bylaw. I think everybody will remember that we voted the inclusionary housing bylaw. Again, the Board of Selectmen is saying favorable action in regard to the fact that it had previously been voted. Amendment on Article 12 is the amendment to the zoning bylaw. It's a short-term, regarding short-term rental. Again, this is a revote from the annual town meeting last spring, and it's adding a new short-term rental use bylaw in our use bylaws. And again, the Board of Selectmen is voting favorable action as the article had previously been voted. Article 13 is the rezone industrial to commercial industrial park. And again, this is a revoting article, and it's to rezone the industrial to commercial industrial park. This is the 5 acres, or the 5 lots that are rezoned, creating a commercial industrial park. Again, part and parcel of what the Board of Selectmen's goal is to generate some more commercial industrial income for the town of Kingston. And that's got Board of Selectmen favorable action. And our last but not least article, Article 14, is the amendment to the zoning bylaw, Section 5.4.3.2, multiple dwelling intensity schedule, and Section 5.3.4.h, the meaning of terms. This is to exclude areas prohibited for development identified as priority habitat, and estimated habitat for use with the Mass Endangered Species and Mass Wetland Protection Act regulation from density calculations for multiple dwelling units and residential dwelling, encouraging open space development. So this is, right now, there are specific requirements in regard to the density calculations when you're putting in a multiple dwelling unit, and this is doing to reduce those and have those changed. Again, the Board of Selectmen voted favorable action on this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our Kingston Special Town Meeting preview. I hope that everybody will come and attend our Special Town Meeting being held on Tuesday, November 14th, 6:30 at the Kingston Intermediate School. So come out, vote, be heard, debate, listen to what's being discussed about all of these articles, and then vote as you choose. Thank you very much. Again, Janet Wallace, Moderator, Town of Kingston.